Under the hood of the CT5, there are 3 different engine choices that are available. There's a 2-liter turbo, a 3-liter turbo, and then a ridiculously overpowered 6.2-liter supercharged V8. This one has the 2-liter turbocharged engine, which is 237 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. So let's go up to highway speed, shifting into sport mode. We'll go in 3, 2, launch control, 1. 100. Not bad. Not bad at all. If power is your game, you are absolutely going to want to go for that 6.2 liter inside of the CT5V, but it also comes at a premium price point starting north of $100,000 in both Canada and the States. But there's plenty of power inside of this one. It's got 237 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque, which I think is going to be good enough for most people. There is a little engine cover there, and then you've got easy access to top up your fluids as necessary. Then looking at the warranty inside of the Cadillac world, you're looking at a 4-year basic with a 6-year powertrain. And then if you need that extra peace of mind, you can always increase your warranty at time of purchase. But just do yourself a favor, regularly scheduled maintenance, regular oil changes to get the best possible life out of your ride and to protect these turbocharged or supercharged engines. The front end styling of the CT5 is pretty simple. I know some people aren't crazy about the Cadillac redesigns lately, but I personally don't think that there's anything in the front end I'm not a fan of. I love the way that the lamps look. The grille inside of the ride looks great. I love that Caddy badge, and it's loaded with technology. You're going to find the forward sensing system along with a front-facing camera. So there is a full 360 cam inside of this car, and it's loaded with other driving safety technology too, including the Super Cruise feature, which is full hands-free driving. But the overall style, like I said, does work well. There is the option for the technology package inside of the CT5, which gives you a head-up display, but it also changes out the dynamic look of the headlamps. It goes from a traditional LED into an LED with self-leveling, and then it's also adaptive for cornering. So later on at night, you're taking turns left or right, it's gonna shine those LEDs, and that makes it easier for you to see during nighttime driving. This one is in the deep space metallic exterior, and I gotta say, the darkness of this paint is pretty neat. It's like a nice charcoal gray with some metallic fleck all the way through. It actually looks pretty solid. And it goes really well with these split spoke, blacked out wheels. I love black wheels, but you're going to find at least an 18-inch wheel inside of the CT5, going up to 20-inch with varying styles. And you'll find the CT5 rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. And because it's a sedan, hugs so nicely. This is the sport trim level of the ride. One thing that would be nice, so you can adjust a number of parts on the seat. I would love to see active seat bolsters though, that like hug your body as you go into those tighter turns. I think that would be amazing. But the handling there, just in that roundabout, was pretty good. The rear end style of the CT5 looks kind of sharp. You've got LED tail lamps inside of the ride, got a little metallic highlight that runs through at the middle. That matches nicely with the dual tip exhaust that you're going to find. Other things style-wise, there is a little deck lid spoiler, and then technology-wise, there's the reverse park sensing system along with a backup camera. One thing that I do like about the sensing systems inside of the Cadillac world is that as you get closer to obstacles when you back up, you get haptic feedback inside of your seat. Pretty weird the first few times it happens, but it's also kind of useful at the same time. Getting inside of the trunk of the CT5 can be done so many different ways. There's a button along the driver's side door. You can use the key fob to do it. Just underneath the Cadillac badge to the right-hand side of the camera, there's a button there that you can push. And then there's also the option for the hands-free trunk. As long as the fob's on you and you've got the feature enabled, you're just gonna swipe your foot in the back. Hands-free access, super useful. Hands-free up, manual back down. That's still pretty neat. Along the right-hand side, there's a little storage cubby. Along the left side, there's access to the battery. This one has the available protection package with the thermoplastic rubber tray that is beefy. I love it. And you're going to find a good amount of storage space underneath that tray. Folding down the second row seats can't be done from the trunk area at all. It's actually done from the second row. So hopping inside, there's a button along the top of the seat. You're just going to pull that in order to lower the seat down. And it is a 40-60 bench. So it's 40% on the driver's side, 60% on the passenger side. And there is a solid amount of space back here. It's great. Now, the dimensions that you're looking at specifically behind the first row go from right where that trunk door would close to just in behind the little armrest between the first row seats. So at the driver's seat, passenger seat, where forwards or backwards, you'd gain or lose a little bit of extra space. And then I've also got some measurements for the inside there. So golf clubs, not going to be a problem. Skis, things like that would be okay, but it is kind of tapered towards the bottom. So you're not going to get quite as much as you potentially could. But still, there's a solid amount of space inside of the boot. Filling up fuel inside of the CT5 is done just along the passenger side. It is an unlocked cover, so even with the door locked, the cover there is unlocked, but it does have a capless system that features anti-siphon technology. So somebody could just jam a hose down there in order to try to siphon out fuel. Minimum manufacturer's recommendation for the fuel quality inside of the CT5 is going to depend on which version you have. If you have the regular 2-liter engine, you're okay with using at least an 87 octane. Inside of the 3-liter or the 6.2-liter supercharged, that's when you want to use a 91. So it's interesting the way that GM words it, or Cadillac words it in this world, but you're looking at premium fuel being recommended inside of the 2-liter. So recommended and required are two different things. If you want the best possible performance, you are absolutely using a 91 octane. But inside of the 2-liter, you can get away with an 87. But like I said, the 3-liter or the 6.2-liter supercharged require a minimum 91 octane. And if you're taking it onto a track, you want to use at least a 93 or above at that point. You do get pretty good economy overall inside of the turbocharged engines, especially if you're just the type of person to coast on the highway. I was getting way better than the manufacturer stated when I went to go pick this car up. The CT5 has a little walk-away lock feature too. So as long as you've got the fob on you, you start walking away if you haven't locked the doors. Eventually, it's going to lock it itself. On top of that, there's the option for different key fob tricks and things like that. But if you want to walk through on how to actually use the fob, you'll find that down in the description of this video. Well, you saw there, there's power folding side view mirrors that feature turn signals in them. There's also a 360 camera, so side mounted camera there is part of that system. As you go to hop inside, fold down, which is great. There's also a blind spot monitoring system. So if somebody enters the blind spot on either side, it's going to highlight there to let you know. And they're also auto dimming. So later on at night, if a donkey has their high beams on, that's going to dim out for you. There is intelligent access, so you can tap there to lock the doors, slide in and pull back. There's a little handle back there in order to get inside. Ooh, I love that black interior, but before we get there, I love this carbon fiber insert. Got your basic door handle, lock and unlock buttons with all of the controls for your side view mirrors and for your windows, all with an auto function. Got a little bit of storage there with a release for the trunk. On the inside, electronic parking brake, along with the dimmer switch for your cluster screen, and then a power telescoping steering wheel. These are the rubberized trays you're going to find from the factory. It is way easier to clean these off compared to carpeted mats. So do yourself a favor, whether it's from Cadillac directly or through WeatherTech, and get these liners. There are a few different style seats that are available, a few different color choices, with a boatload of different options for adjusting. Forwards, backwards, up and down, adjust your backrest, multi-way support there for the lumbar, with the option of enabling massage chair seats, because this one is pretty much as fully loaded as the Sport's gonna get. Oh, look at this startup. Well, I guess hopping inside, I haven't even started her up yet, but that's beautiful. All right, hold on, before we get there. With the driver's seat as far down, hold on. There we go, as far down as it's gonna go. Up overhead, I've got three and a half-ish inches of headspace. So a decent amount of space, not the most, but it's a sedan, so you can't really ask for much. And starting up, your push button start there. There we go. Look at that, I love that. The way that they've done this is really nice. All right, hold on, let's get the seat set back up again. All right, whew, that's getting toasty. Love that. Now, if you want walkthroughs, like you want to know how to use all the different steering wheel buttons, go through the cluster, the head-up display, or the infotainment, you'll find walkthroughs down in the description. There are so many things. Inside of the ride, there's traditional cruise control, there's adaptive cruise, and then there's full hands-free driving on top of that. Only works on highways or interstates, but it's fantastic. There are paddle shifters inside of the car, so if you wanted to drop down gears in order to be able to spool up your RPMs to pass somebody faster, that's available. But if you want walkthroughs, like I said, all of this technology, you'll find it down below. I love the way that they've done this. So you've got either a gauge view, a map view, or a basic clean view. I love that. That looks fantastic. The infotainment system here is also feature packed. So you've got wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay support available. And this is a Google-based device, so there are a series of different apps that are available. Google Maps built in on top of that. It's feature packed. But yeah, like I said, if you wanted a full walkthrough on the infotainment system, you'll find it down below. This one has the available technology package, which gives you the little head-up display there too. I love it. Oh, the highlights there along the door, along the dash on the passenger side, the door, I should say, the center there by the shifter, and then along the passenger side there. Fantastic. There's dual zone climate control inside of the ride. You've got at least heated first row seats with the option for ventilated first row inside of some trim levels or some packaged options. Then basics down here, including your full 360 camera. So you've got your standard view, overhead, you can do a side view, and then a series of options for your backup view too. Really useful. From there, passenger side support, there's a wireless charge pad, a series of selectable drive modes. So you've got snow, ice, which are going to play with traction stability control. You can customize your own unique mode. There's tour, which is your basic mode. And then there's an available sport mode too. So you can see, gives you all of the best possible performance options. And the shifter here feels fantastic in the hand. So reverse, bringing up that camera, drop down lightly to get yourself into drive there. Neutral is kind of like this fine position there. Yeah, fine position in the middle. You can drop down there if you wanted to get into an available manual mode too. But your manual mode, like I said, your best bet, just utilizing the paddle shifters. The infotainment system here, like I said, is feature packed, but there are some additional controls down the center stack here too. So there's a hot button press to get to your different audio sources there. Options for your volume. You've also got the option of answering hanging up on a phone call, quick button press for navigation, or actually moving through the full infotainment system this way. So you've got different ways that you can get around the system here. You're going to find a few cup holders built in. Armrest here, non-lockable, but a good amount of space there. There are your 2 USB ports there too. So they're both data transfer ports. So it is wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, but you could plug in here if you wanted to go wired. You've got a little storage tray in this, fully removable in case it gets messy. Like that, there's a 12-volt power point inside of the ride. Armrest here, non-lockable. From there, I love that little highlight, it's good. Glovebox here is fully lockable, and popping it open, there's a solid amount of space. Love that little highlight. Up overhead, there's an auto-dimming rear view mirror with the option for, because of the packages, look at that, fully digital rear view. So it utilizes a rear mounted camera in order to get you that view. And then you'd have the flexibility of adjusting things too. So if you wanted to move, like zoom in or out, if you wanted to move it up or down, you'd have the flexibility of kind of customizing this to make it easier to see. Because if you look behind you, it's a little tricky to see out that window. So being able to have that fully digital option is pretty useful too. Since this is a GM car, you've got your OnStar mode, SOS, tow modes, etc. All of your cabin control lights. On top of that, there's also a little sunroof here. And little sunroof, you've got a dual roof. So it's not a full panoramic because of this little hump in the middle there, but you've got a dual roof. This one opens up, the one in the back doesn't, but you can tilt up if you wanted to, or slide, just opens things up. Look at that. Beautiful. Single button press, oh yeah, opens it up the full way. That's nice. From there, there's also home link system. So if you've got a garage door opener at home, you can program it in. There's a little ticket receipt holder there. On the inside, there's a vanity mirror with lights built in. And then this little feller, oh yeah, stretches out. That's blocking all of the sun. That might be hitting your face. But I do think that they've done a great job on this ride. It's comfortable. Style is fantastic. Let's go check out that second row. Oh, you've got a lot of the same highlights there. That carbon fiber along the door. Speaker there with your basic window control and some storage down low. The seats inside of the ride, ooh, they're locked into place, but they are comfortable and it's fairly spacious. So spacious in the sense that I've got more than enough knee space and foot space, with the driver's seat being set up for myself being 6 feet tall. But in the second row, with me sitting fully upright, my head is touching. I've actually got to like hunch a little bit in order to sit fully upright. I wouldn't want to sit in the second row of the CT5, but I'm also 6 feet tall. So I'd say maybe like 5'8", 5'9", maybe like 5'10". So the downside is that if you're sitting fully upright and you're in a rollover accident, if your head's touching or close, that is not a good sign. So if you're a little bit shorter, you'll be able to sit back here. If you've got kids, not a problem, because you've got all of your anchor points down low. Top tethers are all up high. There's some cup holders built right into the seat there. There you've got your little assist handle. So there's the handle hook, and then there's a little light. That's the same on the, there we go, driver's side here. So a little handle hook, and then your light up there too. Behind the seats, you've got a little mat pocket behind both the driver and the passenger side. You've got basic vent controls, another 12-volt power point here, and then a USB Type-C charge port. There is a hump in the middle there. So, 3 full-size adults. Oh God, look at this. There's a 0% chance I'm sitting in the middle seat of the CT5. Even the outboard seats would be super tight for somebody my size. That's just hilariously small though. Yeah, so like I said, if you've got kids, they won't have a problem inside of the second row of the car. Shorter friends, family members, etc. But yeah, like I'd say 5'10" is probably pushing it for people in the second row. The seats are comfortable though, they're decently comfortable. I just wish that there was more space, but it's a sedan, so you kind of get what you get. At least there's more than enough space for the people in the first row. Ooh, yes. That's good. Good pick up and go to it. Let's try some en route handling here. Ooh, here we go. Yes. All right, hold on. I got to get myself into. There we go. Ooh. Yeah, it just handles so nicely. That's one thing that I really love about sedans, because they're lower to the ground. You can push them harder than you would inside of crossovers or SUVs. It's actually really unfortunate that a lot of sedans they're not selling as well. People just want crossovers or SUVs now instead of a sedan, which I kind of love them. Like, no complaints at all. A few things that I do really like about the CT5, like the comfort of the ride. The seat's incredibly comfortable. I do love that you've got heated and ventilated first row seats inside of this one, the way it's spec'd out, but then massage chair seat capability too. You can get a massage as you're going. You're going to find adaptive cruise control, normal cruise control, and then GM Super Cruise, which is full hands-free driving. It's not on every city street. Well, I shouldn't say it's not on any city street. It's not full self-driving. It's not on every highway or interstate. It's on the majority of them though. So there's a button on the steering wheel, just tap it in order to turn it on. It's such a cool feature. And if you want to walk through, like you want to know how to use the Super Cruise system, or even the steering wheel buttons, the cluster screen, or the infotainment, you'll find full walkthroughs down in the description. I love the Super Cruise feature. It works incredibly well. Looking at the interior here, so cabin noise wise, it actually is a fairly quiet ride. You've got some acoustic glass. You hear a little bit of road noise, but it is fairly quiet here. This one is an all-wheel drive setup, which is just better for Canadian winters anyways. And the handling, responsiveness. Oh, oh, that's fun. Super responsive, nice and peppy. It's a sedan. You're gonna get way better handling. Ooh, yeah. Inside of a sedan. Oh, there we go. Yeah, you get way better handling inside of a sedan compared to a crossover or an SUV. The risk of a rollover in a sedan is a lot lower, And that was a look at the Cadillac CT5. And while the 2-liter engine may not be my favorite, the 3-liter would be the sweet spot, I think. There are still a great number of options you'll find inside of this ride. But you can find all of the build details and all the tech walkthrough videos down in the description, along with links off to Cadillac Canada and US. But if you found this video useful, give it a thumbs up, share it with someone if you think they might find it helpful. And until I see you next time, take care. Underneath the hood of the CT5, there are 3 different engine choices that are available. The intro, damn it. And then looking at the warranty inside of this, I was gonna say the Chevrolet world, I guess technically the same, brother from another mother. And then there's also the option for hands-free access. So as long as you've got the key fob on you, all you're gonna do, swipe your foot under the back. Oh, come on. Of course, you little Filling up fuel inside of the CT5 is done just along the driver's side. It's the passenger side, you goof.